However, before making another move, he looked around the rehab center just to make sure they were still alone. Antoine was head therapist and closed the facility every day. But the crazy janitor, Miguel, had a set of keys and was known to use the gym equipment before his shift started. After making sure everything was okay, Antoine turned back toward Natasha. "Take 'em off," he ordered, pointing to her shorts. Her hands moved swiftly as she pulled off the tight spandex material and exposed her overflowing pussy. Without any more hesitation, Antoine lifted up her legs and dunked his entire face into her treasure. Natasha let out a slight moan as his nose pressed back and forth against her clit. Her thighs began to vibrate as the tingling sensations raced up and down her back. Before long, she had reached a climax and her warm fluids squirted into Antoine's unsuspecting mouth. He swallowed her special treat and continued to suck on her clitoris until his jaws felt sore. Seconds later, Natasha pushed him away and sat up on the bench. He watched as she stood up and motioned for him to follow her with a wave of her hand. Following behind her like a trained puppy, Antoine loved how Natasha's small waist sat on top of her big, round ass. As he began to take his clothes off, he also noticed several tiger paw tattoos that walked up the back of her right leg. She paused when they reached the rowing machine. After motioning for Antoine to sit on the cold leather seat, Natasha threw her left leg over him and slid her dripping pussy down his throbbing pole. She buried his face in her 36C breasts as she sped up the tempo. "She rides horses well," he thought. His rock-hard shaft banged against her inner walls with massive force. She leaned her torso back against the machine and opened her juicy tunnel so every inch of him would be submerged. His large hands clamped onto the handrails in order to keep up with her pace. After finding the perfect rhythm, Antoine placed his hand around Natasha's waist and moved her up and down at a rapid pace. Even though she was on top, she was no longer in control. Natasha began to rub his head frantically. His soft, curly hair slid through her fingers as his dick pressed up against all the right spots. His shaft was so far inside, she felt as if the tip was tapping against her chest. "This dick is so good," she shouted. The sound of Natasha talking dirty made Antoine pull her waist up and down with even more force. "You like this shit, huh?" he responded. "Yes, baby. Work this pussy. Work it, baby. This pussy is yours." She kept blurting out phrase after phrase. "Damn, this soon? I know my dick is good, but I didn't expect her to give up pussy ownership this early." A few seconds later, her legs began to shake like she was having a seizure, and her walls began to tighten. He knew exactly what that meant. "I'm coming too, girl. Get ready," he commanded. "Oh, God, don't stop. It feels so good," she blurted out. "It's your pussy. It's your pussy." Almost instantaneously, they both reached a climax and exploded into each other while moaning at the same time. Instantly, Antoine closed his eyes and tried to catch his breath. This was one hell of a workout. Her pussy is better than I thought it would be. As Natasha slowly rose to her feet, her kitty released sections of his dick, starting with the head, then the middle, and finally, the base. She used both hands to push her long, black hair off her face. Her caramel skin glowed as drops of sweat ran down her cheeks. "I thought I might feel bad about having sex with you," she finally said. Antoine flashed his sexy smile. "Well, do you?" She hesitated for a moment. "Not really, but don't think I'm stupid either. I know your reputation around the center." "My reputation? What are you talking about?" he asked, trying to act innocent. "No need to play games. I know you've slept with several of your clients, along with a few other therapists."